All right, welcome back, boys and girls, to the Salsa Conference Championship. We are back here in a conference championship in the NGDL, and this is the NGDL4, and this is a huge matchup, obviously, because the winner of this game will go on to play in the league championship, and we'll actually find out both players who are going to be competing in that game tonight. This game obviously decides from our conference, but also on Friday night, Visualize playing Captain Beanard, and actually Captain Beanard is set to premiere his matchup directly after this premiere. Maybe a little bit of a delay, but that's the goal. So I will let you know if anything changes in the comments, or not the comments, the little chat thing. But I will also leave the link in the description because of his premiere, because you'll probably want to go over there to see who I'm or who Qwilliams is facing. And speaking of Qwilliams, he is our opponent, and he is a guy that I've beat actually twice in the regular season, but he's only lost one other game in the entire league, including his playoff game against Mr. Chabry last week. He is now 10-3, finished the regular season 9-3, the strongest record in the conference, and he is an incredible battler, and he is has an incredibly scary team, as you probably heard in the first two times I battled him this season. He is an excellent battler. I have had his number in draft leagues. I'm actually 5-0, I think, against him all time, 2-0 this season. But, he's due for a win at some point, because this guy's way too good to keep at bay. I have been able to get into his head at times in draft leagues, but honestly, he is way too smart not to figure me out at some point, and it very well could be tonight. It's going to be a scary matchup, and we fought, twice in the regular season, as I said, and both matches were incredibly close, so it's not like I have like a huge advantage over him and anything, and you're going to see in a minute what he did in the playoff draft and who he actually swapped for. But his team is incredibly dynamic, and let's go ahead and first get into the Dolphiones. I was considering some transactions, but swaps, because I could have swapped I can swap a Pokemon. I could have swapped a Pokemon from Sharpedo43 after defeating him. I decided to stick with my team. There's nothing that he had that it was an immediate, I thought was going to immediately help me against Qwilliams, so I decided to stick with what I had. Of course, if you missed it, I did get Tapu Lele and Blastoise in the playoff draft, and I am sticking with Mega Charizard X, who has a pretty darn good matchup here against Qwilliams, well, better than Charizard Y, and you're going to see why in a minute. And Qwilliams23, let me just preface this by saying he's a really awesome guy. He's a guy that I respect a lot, and he's a mod in my Discord. I consider him a friend, and if there's one guy who's left in this Final Four I'd want to see win other than me, it's definitely him. So I will be a bit of a Fletchinders fan, even if he does take me out. And look at the scariness of this squad. And I've been, just gushing over it all season, the last two games. There's a reason this guy went and had that 9-3 season. And it's because his team is incredibly scary. He has a really great core of incredibly fast Pokemon. And he only added to that in the playoff draft, actually with picking up two slower Pokemon, the Magearna, which obviously is so dynamic and can beat that speed parity with either Trick Room, which he definitely has, really slow Pokemon too, that Slowking, that Aromatisse. He has a lot of slow Pokemon that, maybe he could come up with a Trick Room set to try to surprise me, and of course, Shift Gear. So even though Magearna is slow, obviously it is incredibly dangerous because of its ability to break speed parity, its ability which gives it extra special attack when it gets a KO, and just its overall, great special attack stats. So it's a really scary Pokemon. It's a really and he really needed that fairy. So like I did, obviously he has Aromatisse, but it's not the same caliber as Magearna. And he also added Mandibuzz. I don't think I'll see it this matchup, but you never know. It's an incredibly bulky Pokemon, but the real thing that's and I know you guys are probably pointing it out to me already. You already noticed it. He made a swap. So like I said, in the playoffs, there's a Battle Factory swap rule, so he was able to take one Pokemon from Chabry. He ended up taking Thundurus, which Mr. Chabry, I believe, picked up in the playoff draft himself, and he actually transformed it into the Incarnate form. So he already had one incredibly dangerous Electric type to me. As you guys saw in the first two matches, Raikou is an incredibly dangerous threat to me because I do have quite a few Electric weaknesses, and that didn't actually get better in the playoff draft. I didn't actually go ahead and grab Electric immunities. In fact, I took one Pokemon that was weak to Electric, which is part of the reason I have to kind of go with Charizard X, is because that just opens up, because he has now two incredibly fast, incredibly dangerous Electric types that I have to deal with. The Thundurus, who is also immune to Sticky Webs, which is huge, and it's, it can attack Defiant with, superpower, so it has that coverage against Crocodile. It is incredibly dangerous. It is incredibly dangerous, and I had this Pokemon on my team. It is frail, but it is incredibly dangerous, and yeah, he just has the speed advantage over me hardcore. I mean, even in Trick Room, like that bottom row of Pokemon are all, aside from Noivern, are all really slow. So he could abuse the Trick Room, surprise me with that. But that top layer is incredibly fast. I already explained the Infernape in the first two matchups. The Infernape is an incredible threat against me. It outspeeds most of what I have. In fact, as you recall, I only beat him in the second game, probably because I transacted for a Pokemon to specifically counter this, that being the Floatzel, who of course is a water type, but yeah, he has those electric types to counter those water types. He has the Garchomp, which is almost certainly going to be regular Garchomp, but though he could use Mega, he has that option. He's not going to. He's going to use a regular Garchomp, which outspeeds my Dragon, my Charizard, and also hits incredibly hard. Miltank is going to be a pain to get through because you never know if it's going to be physically or especially bulky. Yeah, he has the bottom. He brought the Slowking and the Skuntank both of the times we played earlier in the season. I don't know if they're going to be coming this time. Noivern's incredibly fast too. Something's got to give though. He's not going to obviously bring everything. I anticipate him definitely to bring Magearna and Thundurus. They're just way too good against my team not to bring, and Thundurus actually kind of weakens him in potentially against a Visual Eye matchup. So he's definitely going to go ahead. He definitely transacted or traded for that Thundurus in order to counter me. So Thundurus, you can just bet to come. Garchomp is pretty much a for sure thing. He's definitely going to bring Infernape, I would think, and Magearna. And his last few Pokemon are probably going to be one of the Raikou, the Miltank, the Noivern, and maybe the Skuntank, or even Slowking, because Slowking can do a lot of work tanking my Pokemon, so it's going to be a really rough matchup. This guy is a guy I have no idea how I beat twice in the regular season, and he only got better here. In fact, looking at his roster, he probably has the strongest roster in the league. Mine definitely isn't. I do have faith. I do have some confidence going in here because I know that I can get in Qwilliams' head, but this is not a game I should win. He has it all on paper. Tapu Lele, well, a great matchup last week, not so great this week. I mean, it's going to be a Pokemon I bring because it's just that good. It can hit that hard with Psychic. But it's a Pokemon that is, frail. Sorry, not frail, but it's not a Pokemon that has a terrific matchup here against, some of his really fast Pokemon. And that's just the thing. His team just across the board outspeeds mine. I wanted to bring Floatzel again from that second game, but I'm actually not going to because, with Tapu Lele coming in, there's really not a whole lot, a lot left. And if he brings both electric types, I feel like I need Roserade to have that other electric resistance. So I'm bringing Roserade. In fact, I'm not actually going to be bringing a Defogger this week. I didn't want to bring Aerodactyl just because it's, he's probably going to bring something Scarfed. I had to guess the Thundurus will be Scarfed for sure. Well, I mean, not for sure, but I think it's likely it will be. So that'll kind of kill Aerodactyl. And honestly, looking at this entire game, I'm going to bring Crocodile because it has that electric immunity. I'm actually going to bring the Chople on it just to prevent it from getting OKO'd by either Infernape or a superpower from a Thundurus. I ain't going to bring Intimidate. It could trigger Defiant, yes, but with the Chople Berry, I should be able to live at least one superpower, and I kind of feel like I need it, against Garchomp and Infernape. My main game plan, though, to win this game is really going to be Charizard. Charizard is the key. I am going to bring Celesteela, who has another sweeping option with Autonomize, and that could do a lot of work in the right situation. But I really do, looking at this matchup, he has so many outs to everything. In fact, I'm bringing double Waconberry on this team. I'm bringing two Waconberries. I'm bringing one on Araquanid and one on Celesteela. That's how afraid I am of this electric shenanigans. And it's going to leave me open to that Infernape a little bit because Celesteela is also weak to fire, and yeah, Araquanid's also weak to flying, so it's going to be rough. But like I said, I think Charizard is going to be the key. If I'm going to win this game, I need to set up a Dragon Dance on Charizard, and to that end, I'm actually not going to bring Flare Blitz this week. I'm going to bring Fire Punch because I don't he has a lot of stuff like that. Can that Aftermath. He has the Mach Punch that can really mess me up if I start taking too much recoil damage. If I'm going to be able to sweep here with Charizard, he's not going to be able to do recoil damage. That does hurt me just applying pressure without a +1. But if I can get a +1 up with Charizard, I feel like it's my best chance to win. So that's what I'm going to go into the game, trying to do. Anyway, I've talked for almost 10 minutes now. It's a playoff match. It's a conference championship. Give me some room to go ahead and explain my thoughts here. But good luck, Qwilliams. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, well, here we go. The battle against Qwilliams here, and yeah, so not a whole lot that I wasn't expecting, except for maybe the Mandibuzz, but it kind of makes sense because it's a really good physically bulky thing. Plus, you know, it has defog, and that's going to probably be his primary way to get rid of hazards. I decided to go ahead and lead with Crocodile, and I was going to go with a Scarf set, but like I said, I decided to go with Chople pretty much at the last minute. And, yeah, he's going to go into and lead with Thunderous, which is really not what I wanted to see. I knew that he was going to bring the final on this thing, and indeed he does get it, but I'm like, okay, if he does go for the superpower, I should be able to live with the Chople, maybe even if he has the Fighting Z, but he's just actually going to go for the U-turn. And I'm like, okay, that means he's definitely Scarfed, because he has to be thinking that I'd be Scarfed in this situation. And he ends up going to Mandibuzz, which is not the worst thing, because I did just go for Stone Edge. And that will be super effective, although this thing is clearly, pretty clearly max physical bulk, because that does absolutely nothing. And I am adamant, too, so that is quite sad. So I'm just going to go for the Stealth Rocks. I figure I'm just going to go for them just to force him to defog. He is just going to Roost this turn, so that's pretty predictable stuff. But, yeah, now I know that I'm going to get a free switch here, so, because he is going to have to defog. I'm fearing a foul play if I go to Charizard, so I decided just to go into my Tapu Lele to pivot into Charizard, because he's going to defog this turn, and I figure he doesn't want to take a Moonblast, so that would give me a free chance to pivot into Charizard if he goes into Gear, which is what I'm going to go ahead and try to do. So, one thing about that Tapu Lele is I actually brought the wrong Tapu Lele, so that was actually the Tapu Lele I brought against, last week against the Silveon, so I don't have Hidden Power Fire on that one, unfortunately, like I meant to have. So already just a couple mistakes here. And yeah, Garchomp is going to come in, and I was so close to hitting Dragon Claw, but no, man, I end up hitting Fire Punch. And I was actually I was contemplating Dragon Dancing here, but I thought it might be too soon. He might have like the Habon Berry, or he might have you know, the Scarf on this. I was fearing Scarf on everything. It's just too soon. But I really wanted to get some advantage with the switch there. I should have went for the Dragon Claw. I should have stuck with my gut and went for the Dragon Claw. But I didn't. And yeah, that actually blows, because now I'm pretty much going to be forced to sack Krook. He knows I don't have the Scarf because I already switched moves. I get the Intimidate at least, and unfortunately he does have the Stealth Rocks on this thing, so he is going to go ahead and get those up, which I kind of figured he might do, and that's going to be a real nuisance for me as he takes down my Crocodile. So not a great start here, as the Psychic Terrain withers down, and I'm just going to go back into my Tapu Lele to hopefully force this Garchomp to switch. I mean, I do have the Moonblast. I decide, I think, to... what do I do? I think I just go for the Moonblast, hoping that he might predict the pivot again, but no, he's actually pretty safe. Looking back on it, I should have probably pivoted again, but he does have the Stealth Rocks now, so it's pretty, you know, it's I have to take 25% on switch in. So I'm going to go to my Celesteela now. I'm basically, I mean, I knew that thing was AV damage, but I was kind of hoping that he wouldn't go for a Volt Switch, which will actually break my Wakan Berry as well, which isn't great. Like I said, this is a ton of my Celesteela, and in comes the Thunderous, and I'm like, okay, I'm hoping that he's just going to go for the U-turn again. Nope. Wild Charge, it's a purely physical Thunderous, and now I basically have to hope that this thing is going to be Scarfed. So I am going to go out into my Charizard. I need to set up a Dragon Dance, basically, and that's what I'm going to try to do, but it is a Z move, Thunderous. He punked me with this, and I was actually pretty certain, because he stayed in that turn 1, and he, you know, I was pretty certain that this thing would not be, because I didn't think he would want to risk the Scarf on my Crocodile that turn 1, losing Thunderous right away, but if I would have kept the Scarf on Crocodile, I could have hit him with the Stone Edge turn 1, but yeah, unfortunately, he does have the Z move, and that will take me out, and it's Z Fly, obviously. I'm just going to go to Rapid. At this point, I pretty much know I lost, because I lost my 2 big sweepers. I'm just going to try to get a kill here with the Liquidation, but he ends up just going for the Fly, which is kind of obvious. I was kind of hoping he'd just go for the Wild Charge, because I do have the Wakan Berry on this, but no, he just goes for the Fly, which ends up being safer because he outspeeds me, which at the time, you know, I pretty much already lost, I knew, so... Just gonna go in Rose Raid. He could just fly against this thing too. I'm not even sure why I did this. And he ended up just U-turning though, so that's okay. I just go for the Sludge Bomb. Like I said, just trying to wither it down, maybe try to get a kill. Yeah, so this is how things are going to end. Not a ceremonious ending here for the Dolphiones. Yeah, I look at the poison on this Garchomp, and I'm like, well, whatever. Let's see if Qwilliams wants to be a dick and go for the 6-0. We'll see. Let's go ahead and find out. So he's gonna go ahead and Earthquake my Roserade. My last Pokemon is the Tapu Lele. And I don't even have Hidden Power Fire on this thing due to the error. Like I said, it was in my build. It was in my build, but I guess when I on PK hacks, I forgot to. I must have forgotten to click and hit the set button server right to tap the delay, but oh well. But he is going to go for the 6-0, so I guess that works, Qwilliams. I see how it is. I guess he has a lot of pent-up anger since I beat him like all these times in the NGDL. But seriously, Qwilliams is a really cool guy. He's a really great battler. He has a really great team. I'm going to be rooting for him in the final match. I really hope that he is able to overcome either Visuali or Captain Beanard, whoever it is. I'm going to be rooting for your Qwilliams. I hope that you'll take it home. You better take it home. After you 6-0 me here in the Conference Championship, if you don't go and take home the title, man, I am going to be pissed. But I'm happy for you. I mean, I'm not happy that I got 6-0. I obviously wanted it a little closer than that. I wanted it to be a better battle than that. But no, he punked me. And I was living in his head for so many battles here in the NGDL. You know, I'm kind of glad he got over this hump. He got over the hump last week. He won his first playoff match, and he got over the hump this week, finally beating me in the NGDL. So I'm happy for you, man. I hope that you go ahead and take it home. The final match will be posted here on this channel. Plus, everyone except for Qwilliams, I believe, left in the NGDL is a YouTuber, so you're going to see it on those channels. Like I said, I'm actually going to probably post the other Conference Championship on this channel, but you can watch it on Captain Beanard's channel. Hopefully he'll have that premiere up immediately after this premiere. It might take a little while longer because this battle lasted so unexpectedly. It was so unexpectedly short, which honestly is kind of kind of on me. But yeah, it was a good season. I mean, I had a feeling for a long time that this was probably the weakest NGDL team I ever constructed. I mean, it was fun. Not getting a Pokemon in round 1 definitely hurt us. All things considered, I feel like we did really well, being that, you know, we kind of didn't have that fast of a draft. You know, we just had to, you know, scrap together the leftover pieces of what other people gave us. So being able to, you know, make the playoffs and win a playoff game is pretty huge in and of itself. But like I said, credit to Qwilliams. He's a fantastic player. He's a fantastic person. I cannot emphasize that enough. I am a St. Louis Fletchinders fan going into the final game, whether that be against the Philadelphia Pidgeys or the Cincy Scizors. So anyway, today's question of the day has to do with more Sword and Shield stuff, and I am talking about the 2 newly revealed Pokemon in the latest trailer. We have Cramorant here, and yeah, this thing is funny looking as heck. It's another water flying type, which I'm first like, oh, really, another water flyer? But this one's actually kind of has an interesting ability. It probably isn't the final form either, by the looks of it, but its ability is kind of interesting. When it uses Surf or Dive, it collects up a fish, and then it spits out that fish when it gets hit. So I'm gonna obviously need some more details. I kind of would have preferred it be like a free stockpile effect rather than like a damage, but depending on the damage, this thing can still be very strong. And you know, I actually kind of like the fact that they're trying to incentivize using Surf over Scald, because I'm kind of getting bored of Scald, to be honest. And finally, this other newly revealed Pokemon, and this thing is called crap, I just closed my page. Polteageist. I probably butchered that name, but I kind of like this. I think the ghost types that Game Freak has designed in recent generations have been on point. I really do like the design of this thing. Its only revealed ability is Weak Armor. I'm hoping that they get something else, or it's an evolution. It's probably not the final form, like I said, but I like the design. I'm excited to kind of see what it is. So yeah, leave a comment about what you think about these new Pokemon. Another just minor announcement. I know I haven't been streaming recently, but I am going to try to stream tomorrow afternoon Eastern time. To get some like normal-ish Wi-Fi battles. And as far as other things that are going to be coming up on this channel, obviously, I'm gonna, if you don't want to, obviously go to Beanard's channel to see the premiere of that battle. I will be posting the other conference championship here. Also, Visuali will be posting it, I'm sure. But I will be posting this here. I'm just letting you guys know what's coming up here. I'll also be posting the finals, probably from Qwilliams23's perspective, when he does them, and I will try to reveal them here on this channel, regardless of his opponent. When it happens, I'll try to work with them to premiere it as well on this channel, and that'll be sometime next week. And yeah, I'm also going to try to join the PGBL again, which hopefully should be starting again soon. Rick's been kind of ignoring me, but he said it's going to happen soon, so I'm going to jump into another draft league. That's not the NGDL. and hopefully that'll start up soon. So I'll have some weekly battles to post for you guys. But I am also trying to get some normal battles. I know I haven't done any of them recently because I just had it's been really busy out of the summer, especially now that I'm a dad. It's just crazy. Everything's crazy. I have no time to do anything, so I haven't had time to stream. I haven't had time to battle, even off stream, to post for you guys. I've just been doing these NGDL battles, so I will try to get back to some normal battles, especially since the generation is nearly over. Sword and Shield comes out in November, which is actually rapidly approaching at this point. Yeah, I'd like to get some image drink battles near the end of this generation, until I have to figure out how to even gen for the new generation, because I hear that Switch genning is a pain in the butt. But anyway, so yeah, leave a comment about what you think about those new things. This is TheKillerNacho, and the Miami Dolphiones are done in an unceremonious fashion. But I am happy for St. Louis, and I hope that Qwilliams23 will be able to pull home the win here in the championship. So, thanks for watching, and see you guys again next time. And just a reminder, like I said, the other conference championship should be premiering over on Captain Beanard's channel in just a few minutes. So yeah, just I'll leave the link to that in the chat or in the video description when he gives it to me. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you guys again next time. Later!